Hello Nikki, hello Transport Evolved, it's Friday and that window's open, maybe I should shut that. The i3 is an interesting one. I'm still not convinced about it being a Halo car, although I do agree with you that maybe people seeing the i3, and it does seem to have a lot more public perception than a lot of other EVs, will bring more people into the EV fold, so to speak, albeit they may not buy the actual i3 itself. Tesla is a tech company. Yeah, I think I agree with that. They are very much a tech company rather than a car manufacturer, or at least they are structured in that way. And I wouldn't be surprised if their internal structure in terms of staff is set up that way as well. People are given projects and problems to work on, and then they just go out and do it. And it seems like they're very good at coming up with solutions or looking at things from a new angle, which is what needs to happen in the tech world, and they're applying that to an existing framework. Although that's kind of Elon's MO, really, is he creates companies that challenge existing markets that people think have been developed to the point where everything from this point on is the same, and he comes at it from a different direction. I would say that Tesla sees rapid charging as their responsibility, whereas people like Nissan and Mitsubishi and BMW and VW and all these other companies, they don't see it as their responsibility. They produce the cars, someone else supplies the fuel, whereas Tesla quite rightly knows and sees that there isn't really still a market in providing fuel for EVs, and thus they've taken it on themselves. It's their responsibility. The car needs a charging infrastructure. There's no business model for the charging infrastructure that really works at this point, so they've taken it on themselves, and I think that's a very smart move. Mandated cars and stop buying the 500e, the Fiat 500e, which is a shame because everything I know about that car says that it's a really competent car, albeit it's recently had a recall, but in driving and feel, it's a very good car. And yes, they're losing money on each one, but they're losing money on each one not because of the type of car it is. There are other manufacturers who are making money on electric cars. It's because they're insisting on selling it in such low quantities. Maybe, possibly, Fiat will be the first company to pull out of California, or the first sort of company in recent time to pull out of California if they really hate it that much. Do I think they should be mandated? Yes, I do. And this is where I know some of our viewers are very much in the free market mindset, and I'm not. I believe fully in regulation. I don't think companies do things necessarily in the best interest of the public. They do things in the best interest of profit, and that's not the same. Manufacturers should be mandated by law to produce zero-emission cars, and there should be incremental increases in the minimum efficiency that cars should hit. So the government, I believe, should lay down the law that say if you want to sell any car in our country, it has to get at least 45 miles per gallon. And then 3 years later, that becomes 50 miles per gallon. And then 5 years later, that becomes 55 miles per gallon. Because I don't think it will happen otherwise. Why would it? Why would these companies spend money on developing these systems if they don't have to? They do it at the moment for kudos and green credentials. But if they were forced to by the government, they would do it a lot more, a lot quicker. What do I want to talk to you about? It's a subject we've not broached in one of these before. Formula E. The Formula E teams had their cars delivered to them this week, which is absolutely amazing. Their electric bespoke Renault Spark technology created electric Formula car. And I was a little underwhelmed at the specs, I have to say. The motor in the car is less powerful than that in the Model S. I think it's a 180 kilowatt peak motor. I might be wrong on that. It might even be a little bit lower, which seems ridiculously low. The car's at 800 kilograms, which to me seems too high. It's 0 to 60, 3 seconds. Again, that's not that impressive. And so I'm a little lackluster about the specs of the car, but I wondered what other people think. Are you excited about Formula E? What do you think about the cars? Do you think they're cool or not? Do you think they're good or not? Could they have been better? Or did they do very well considering the actually quite short time frame they had to come up with it, create it, and get it approved? Let me know what you think. Think about it over the weekend, and I shall see you on Monday, Nikki and Transport Evolved. Bye-bye.